What is good, Badger fans? We got another big piece of that 2025 class. One of the kids I think has the highest upside in that entire group on the show today. Can't wait to talk about it. Let's go on Wisconsin.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is good, Badger fans? Welcome to Locked On Badgers. Thank you for making this one of your first stops every single day. Really appreciate y'all. Thank you for helping us build this community. Today's episode brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. And we always say, you guys are probably sick of me saying it, but when we get the great guests on, man, we just jump right in. We do not waste time. We got Luke Emmerich joining the show today. Big time 2025 commit coming out of Minnesota. Athlete, 6'2", 200 pounds. Is that where you're at now?
Yep, that's right.
6'2", 200. I was ripping him before the show. I'm like, man, some people get all the stuff like 6'2", 200 pounds, 39-inch vertical, 10.6, 100-meter speed. And look at that head of hair. Like, literally, what gifts don't you have? So excited to have him on the show. We always start with this, man. What's it feel like when someone says Luke Emmerich, Wisconsin Badgers commit?
Man, it's a great feeling, and just to be able to be or to be going to be a part of a great team. I mean, a place where I want to play, and just people know, especially coming from a Minnesota kid, it's like I'm a Badger, and I mean, I'm proud to be a Badger, and definitely it's the best decision I've made so far of my 17 years of life.
What's number two? Like, that's your best decision in 17 years. What's your second best?
Probably playing football, I guess. No, just
I love it.
Sticking close. I mean, that's what I wanted. I wanted to do something different. I mean, I didn't want to just be. I mean, I grew up a Minnesota fan, but I mean, I didn't. Once things started to change, it's like I realized, like, wow, the town's great. Like, I want to be a Badger for sure.
What's your game like? We always ask players, give yourself kind of a self-scout.
I feel like athleticism really carries my game for sure as of now. I mean, I definitely am looking to develop a ton more skill. Not saying I'm not skillful in what I do, but I'm extremely athletic, and I think playing 3 other sports really helped me to develop like pieces to incorporate track things, basketball moves, and just put them all into one sport, and to really grow and develop in football has really helped with my development and to be able to be in the position I am today to be a successful football player.
Well, let's talk about the athleticism then. 39-inch vertical. We actually had a question from, this is Mr. Steve-O. How did you get to that 39-inch vertical? Have you worked on that, or is that mostly natural?
I mean, I worked on it a ton. I remember, I think it was in middle school, my middle school principal told me she would buy my homeroom class a pizza if I was able to dunk a volleyball in 8th grade. So I just would do like split squats. I would just do legs and do stuff even in my bedroom, just with 15-pound dumbbells, trying to jump as high as I could. And I got it, and my class got some pizza because of it. So, no, I mean, it was definitely a lot of things combined that helped with that. But, I mean, a lot of it is God-given. And for many kids nowadays, that's kind of how it goes. But, I mean, there's definitely a lot of work involved with that, too.
Do you ever look at the NBA scouting combine? Because I know you're a hooper too. I mean, football is your number one, but do you ever look at that and be like, my 39-inch vertical actually stacks pretty well with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, they are elite athletes in their own ways, but I mean, I think my dunking, that was like really the only reason I like to play basketball. I mean, I just like to dunk. I mean, I could shoot okay. I mean, I could do the other stuff, but there's nothing like dunking a basketball. That's the most fun part for sure.
What's your go-to dunk? Like if you get roped into a dunk contest on a playground?
I'm going off the backboard windmill.
Dude, that's incredible. Let's talk about the speed. So that's the vert. Speed, obviously, explosiveness translates to speed and to vertical explosiveness. You have both of those things in spades. You run about a 4.5. I've seen 4.48, 4.53. What are you kind of running now, do you think, if you had to go out there and lace them up?
So we had a team camp at South Dakota State this week. So our whole team went, and I ran a 4.50. So, I mean, that was the most recent I've done. Laser.
And then, obviously, the track time, that kind of – I feel like that kind of blew you up a little bit more. People saw the 100-meter time, which was a 10.69.
Yep.
Do you feel like that's what kind of brought you a little bit more into the national radar, that showcasing that speed?
Yeah, I think that's what really took things off for me. So I was at literally the weekend before that, I was at Washington, and they were my first P4 offer, and I think it was 2 days later, that Tuesday, I ran that time, and within 3 hours, I had a couple offers already more, and I mean that really just blew up. And I think to play football, you can't play football if you're slow. I mean, you can't be a successful football player if you're not able to run. I mean, you got to be able to move to play football.
What was that first offer like, man? What was that feeling like? Washington popped. I know Iowa State was after that, but what was that moment like for you?
It was insane. I mean, that just the feeling of knowing that like a childhood dream is fulfilled. I mean, it's not fulfilled for sure yet, or like there's still more to it. I mean, I want to be a successful college athlete, but to just get that first step out of the way, I mean, it was a great feeling, especially after missing a junior year, knowing like, man, can I even do this anymore? Like, is it too far of a long shot? And just to keep working and finally see all that hard work, that PT, everything like that pay off. I mean, it was a great feeling for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. And to your point, it's not the end of the journey, but there's dominoes that have to get knocked over for you to keep going. And this getting those scholarship offers is another set of dominoes.
Hmm.
For those who don't know, the injury last year, can you kind of talk a little bit what it is and where you're at now in the recovery? Well, obviously you are recovered, but
Yeah.
if there is any pain or anything like that still lingering.
Yeah. So in June, so it was about 12 months ago. I think actually it was a year today on the dot was surgery, June 27th. But I mean, I tore my ACL. I had surgery 5 days later. It was really good. Was done by the Vikings team surgeon. He did Adrian Peterson before he won the MVP. So I mean, his name's Chris Larson, Dr. Chris Larson. But no, I mean it was a good 9 months of strong recovery. I mean, I was going to PT 4 times a week and just grinding. I mean, it's a grind, and I just try to embrace it and know at the end of the road. I mean, hopefully there's a great outcome that I'm looking for. And no, there's no pain. There hasn't been pain since 4 months out of surgery. But no, it feels great. I mean, my surgical leg is stronger than my other leg, test numbers wise, and I'm faster than before. I can jump higher than before. I mean, if anything, I think that it's really helped me. I mean, it's my just that lifting and all that PT. I mean, it really grows you.
What was the pain like for those who haven't hurt their knee like that? How much does an ACL tear hurt? Because I've heard varying stories of some people not even really realizing how bad they hurt it.
I mean, so I knew. I mean, you definitely know once it happens, but it doesn't hurt all that bad. Like it's just like kind of like a shock. Like you're just like, oh, like that just happened. And I mean, there's no pain until after surgery, but after surgery, you can't move very well for a long time. I mean, and you struggle to shower. I mean, I lost a ton of weight after surgery. I was down to like 160 pounds, and I looked like a should be playing golf or something. I was a skinny dude, but no, and just kept eating, kept lifting as my upper body as much as I can and go to PT. And I think in a total of like 6 months, I gained like 45 pounds. So I mean, it worked really good for me.
Talk to me about your place on the field. Like, and this leads into a question we had from Bucky. So, more comfortable playing near the line of scrimmage or playing deep?
I mean, I like to hit. I like to hit. I mean, I can definitely drop in coverage and cover anybody, but I mean, I like to show blitzes. I like to blitz. This week I had a couple sacks, so that was fun. But I mean, I think I'm that hybrid, that kind of that Hunter Waller area. I mean, I can go back and play coverage and play man to man on a tight end or even a slot, but I like to hit. I like to be up close and get in on the fun action sometimes.
That's a Big Ten mindset, brother. What are you working on this summer then? Like, so obviously you're always working on the body. All athletes are always working on the body, but from maybe a technique standpoint or specific drills you're working on as an athlete.
I'm really working on my footwork. On my official visit, me and Coach Grinch talked a lot. I mean, what do I need to do? What can I improve on? How can I be in the best shape to be successful when I come January? And he said footwork, just your drops, getting out of your breaks, and I've just been doing those 3-4 times a week, just with my dad out on the field, even my coach just helping me, and take videos of everything I do. I look at it for 25 minutes after I do it and just break down as much as I can. And did I pause on that rep? Was I slow on that rep? Did I take the wrong step? Just really trying to define details of getting better in all categories.
Have you seen a jump already?
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. Definitely. And then you break down all the videos. It's like, wow, my foot is stepping in 6 inches closer than it needs to, and then it's like 4 inches, and then it's like that's the exact spot I need to be to get that right spot.
One of the things I think with basketball players in general is the hand-eye coordination, the ability to just go up and snatch a ball. That's all over your sophomore film, right? Reading the quarterback, snatching ball, undercutting a route. I think ball skills is one of your better attributes as a defensive back, as an athlete. Is that primarily do you think that came from basketball? And B, is that kind of where you're slotting in the staff, some type of safety, hybrid, dollar, something like that?
Yep. So I'll be a safety. I mean, I told Coach Grinch, I said I can do anything besides the O line, D line, but no, and I think safety is a good spot that where Hunter Waller's playing. I mean, I think we have 3 safeties right now committed, and we're all different builds. I mean, we're all like Remington Moss. He's more of a free safety. Grant's kind of that outside linebacker. He's also a little bit of a hybrid safety too. But I mean, I think Hunter Waller is the exact position that I think I would fit in perfectly.
No, I love it. All right, we're going to take a quick break with Luke Emmerich. Come back. We're going to talk about the recruiting process itself, what the visits to Madison were like, what is Coach Grinch like, all that coming up more on Locked On Badgers. But first, a quick break for our friends of the show over at Game Time. Game Time remains your number one source for all your sports betting needs and information. This is the place you want to go if you want to get into Camp Randall. Listen, get some tickets in a couple of years. You're going to be watching this kid fly around and take the heads off Iowa Hawkeye players. If you want to get those tickets for this season, go over to Game Time, best prices, biggest inventory. You get pictures of the seats before you sit down. So you know exactly what your sight line to the Wisconsin bench is going to be. You know exactly what your sight line to the Axe is going to be. All of that's over on Game Time. Again, wherever you want to go, you want comedy, you want theater, you want basketball, football, baseball. It's all over there on Game Time. Best tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. Right now, snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Okay, step 1. Create the account. Step 2, use code LOCKDOWNCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create the account, redeem the code LOCKDOWNCollege, $20 off over at Game Time. All right, let's get Mr. Emmerich back on. I have your Twitter down there, but anywhere else people follow? Anything else you have going on with social media?
I got Instagram. That's all. Twitter and Instagram is all I really use.
Okay, we'll link that when we release the show so everyone can kind of follow along, cheer along. Let's talk about the recruiting journey itself. When was the first contact to Wisconsin, and how did they kind of learn, or how did they get a hold of your game, your film? How did they first discover you is maybe a better way of saying it.
So my sophomore year, Coach Tressel came to my school just in the springtime, just the open period, talked to my coach. And I mean, from there, I mean, that was fresh off the season, or like not the season, but like basketball and all that stuff. So we were talking a little bit, and we weren't in that much contact. I came to a game day. I think it was Rutgers homecoming last year, so that was a fun game to go to. And then I went to a spring game, but I was always kind of talking with the director of player personnel, Max Steinecker, Pat a little, and then when Coach Grinch came over from USC, he really hammered the nail, and we called me twice a week, and that's kind of where we developed that relationship. And they developed the relationship before the track time, and I thought that was super important to me. A lot of the teams, my sophomore year, I was getting pretty heavily recruited, and then once I tore the ACL the junior year, or the sophomore year, I should say, or that summer, that's when it teams kind of went into ghost mode, and nobody was really talking to me. But Wisconsin kind of maintained that relationship, and they wanted to wait and see how I would recover. And when they offered me, I was like, the whole time I knew I wanted to be a Badger. So that was a special offer for me.
Let me ask you this. Did it feel, slap in the face is the wrong term. I'm trying to think of a better one. But did it feel like maybe those other schools shouldn't have needed to see your track time when they've already seen your film before? Did it kind of feel like, you said Wisconsin, they didn't really drop off after the injury. They didn't need to see that track time as much as maybe other schools.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say a slap in the face. I mean, it was hard for me. I mean, just because that's my dream. But I mean, college football's a business. They gotta take the best of the best, and they gotta know exactly what they're getting when they offer a committable scholarship to a kid. They're not just throwing those things out. I mean, they're doing their homework. They're like they can't go off feelings. They got to go off the facts. And for to run a time, especially after someone say a major injury, I mean, it's important to make sure you're getting exactly what you want out of somebody that's you don't know about.
Talk to me about Max. You said you talked quite a bit with him. What is he like from kind of a standpoint of the one-on-one conversations, the constant contact? What is Max Steinecker like?
I mean, Max is a great dude. I mean, he is. I've talked to so many directors of, I mean, just recruiting staffs in general. I mean, there's nobody like Pat and Max. They're the funniest dudes you'll ever meet, but they're also, I mean, they know what they're talking about. They know how to recruit. And I mean, they're not trying to sell you on a school. I mean, they're trying to actually they're trying to get to know you. They want to know your family. I mean, they're great dudes. And I think it was Max's birthday yesterday too. So I sent him a funny picture of him that I took on my OV, and I was wearing a hoodie on my OV too, and he sent a picture of my hoodie to his mom, so then his mom bought him the same hoodie for me, or for him for his birthday. So that was kind of funny. But I mean, they're super personable dudes, and you don't find that all that much, and they're not fake. I mean, there's a lot of college football coaches always lie. I mean, it's just how it goes, and they're real dudes for sure, and they know exactly what they're doing, and that's kind of the reason that we have such a successful class so far, is mainly because of them too.
It's really interesting to me because other recruits have said something similar, and I always just wonder. You kind of hit on it, but do other schools not have like a really personable recruiting guy who gets to know the family? Like, it feels like every school should have something like that, but it actually feels like Max and Pat are pretty unique in it.
Yeah, I mean most schools, I mean they try to, but a lot of them they're older, they're not like they're not personable. I mean they don't have, I mean they all can talk to you, but I mean they have good social skills. It's almost like, I mean, they're at the end of the day like they're trying to develop that relationship that you're gonna have when you're on the team, but they're trying to do it early, and I think that's a perfect strategy to do, especially in recruiting. Like, you want to feel welcome to a place that if you want to go there. I mean, and they're trying to develop that from the start. That the second that they start to recruit you, is they're trying to make you feel like you're part of the team already.
Talk to me about Coach Grinch. Obviously new for Badger fans, was at USC last year coming in. What has he been like as a safeties coach, and what has that communication been like?
He's extremely, he's a great dude. I mean, he's he's very similar to my dad. I mean, my him and my dad. I mean, they're both very just smart, factual. They know exactly, like, he's super knowledgeable on what he does, and everything he does, like drill wise. I mean, there's a purpose. And on my OV, sitting down with him, he's showing me things that they do and how they translate to a game, and things in my film that he sees that translate into Wisconsin that are exactly like he's telling me why he recruits me, why they wanted me, why they offered me. I mean, they're just like there's always there's like a method to the madness, is what a good way to put it, and he's perfected that.
Let me ask you that because I think this is where fans, the real ones, always want to get a little deeper. You said like he talked to some of the reasons. This is why we recruited you. This is where some of the stuff's going to translate for you. Can you remember some of the reasons he gave you? Like, hey, this is what we saw in film, and this is where it's going to translate at Wisconsin.
He talked about instincts a lot. I mean, just knowing what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and athleticism. I mean, he said that's a big piece. And they're recruiting, like, in today's college football world, you have to take athletes. You have to take people that are versatile. You have to take people that can play everywhere on the field. And I think that they, as a staff, I think I saw a stat on it, but they've taken a lot more athletes rather than just like strict positions, kids that are just playing one position in high school. I mean, when you're especially playing quarterback, I mean, you can understand coverage from one side of the ball. So when you're playing a coverage, you know exactly what the quarterback is thinking and how he has to throw the ball a certain way into that coverage. So I mean, it's just like there's just like reasons to know, like, if it's cover two, he's got to throw a bullet pass on a fade. Like, he's got to just there's just like different ways to understand and to read a quarterback when you've done it before.
No, that's a great point. And for those who don't know, as an athlete, you do play quarterback, you play safety, you play all over the field. So that's a great point. Last question here on recruiting before I get into some lightning round stuff and let you go. Thoughts on the 2025 class? The dogs that are here with you. Like, what is this class like?
I mean, it's gonna keep getting better too. I mean, we have some great kids. I mean, we're all super tight. We have multiple group chats. We have a text group chat, and then we have a Snapchat group chat where we all talk. I mean, we're super close. We're already joking and laughing with each other, and I mean, we're all good athletes too. I mean, we're all. I think some of the dudes like Sam Leitcher, he's under rated. He's a very good player. Braden Ains. I mean, he's a great player too. But there's a lot of dudes that I mean, they're going to be successful athletes in college for sure.
And you don't have to give me like the ultimate answer to this, but like this is just first person that pops into your head. Anybody in this 25 class, you get jumped in an alley, you can pick one of those dudes to help you fight your way out. Who is it?
Cam Clark.
Yeah, it's a great one.
The big dude. He's a big dude.
He's got reach. He could keep those dudes off of him. Funniest guy. Again, just the first one that pops in your head.
Eugene Hilton. Funny dude.
Pound for pound, I'm going to put you on the spot here because you could be in this category too. Pound for pound, best athlete in this class.
Best athlete? Remington Moss. He's pretty athletic. Eugene's pretty athletic. Cam Miller. I mean, when we were just seeing some videos of him jumping in the lake, he was doing some good flips and stuff, but that's a hard one. Mason Posta's out there too. He can move for a big dude. Mm-hmm. Mason Posta or Cam Miller, one of the two.
I'm surprised you didn't put yourself in that mix. I don't know if that's humbleness.
I got to stay humble.
Okay, I love it. That we're going to take a very quick break, come back, lightning round questions. This has been fantastic, but a quick break for our friends of the show and a quick second to say thank you to everybody tuning in as always. Really do appreciate you. We're going to get back with Luke Emmerich right now and finish this off. Our lightning round, you ready?
Yep, ready.
All right. First question. We had a few more questions to throw in here. I wanted to put this one in the lightning round. This is from GFT. How fun will it be winning the Axe every year?
Man, I'm excited to hold that thing. I'm gonna send it to all my friends back in Minnesota and be like, I got your Axe. You're looking for it." But no, that'll be amazing.
Big Ten team you're most excited to play?
The new ones. I mean, Washington, USC, Oregon, but definitely Minnesota and Iowa also.
Best part of the recruiting process?
That's a hard one. Getting offers. I mean, there's no better feeling than feeling appreciated and wanted by a school.
Worst part?
Constant phone calls.
How many do you get? Like, what's especially when you're in the middle of your recruitment and you're blowing up? Like, how much are you getting a week? Text messages, phone calls, DMs?
Oh, a week? That's a hard number. I think a day would probably be 10 to 20.
Oh,
yeah, it's constant, and you feel the need to respond right away. So at least I do. I mean, I try to respond as fast as I can. But that was stressful. I mean, I'd be just sitting in school and my phone would ring and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm in class," and then we'd be texting. So that was kind of stressful.
How do you manage that? Like, that's just got to get difficult because you're still a kid. And then you're still working out 4 or 5 times a week. You're still doing homework.
I mean, there is really no way to manage it because it's unexpected. Also, I mean, coaches will call you. Like some coaches would call me at 6 a.m. right when I'm waking up, and some would call me at 10:30 right when I'm trying to go to bed. And so towards the end, when I knew what I wanted, I just stopped answering the phone, and then the next day I would shoot them a call and be like, "Hey, I'm kind of narrowing down, and I know what I want to do. So thanks for recruiting me, but you just got to be honest with them. If you're honest with them, they'll be honest with you too also."
Spot you go to chill, like outside of sports, what do you do to chill?
I like to play Frisbee golf.
That's still a sport. Yeah. Outside of sports.
Yeah. That's a sport? Frisbee golf? Oh,
that's definitely a sport, right? Isn't it?
I don't know if you can consider that a sport, but
I feel like that's a fringe sport. Something that requires non-athleticism. How about that? Something you do to chill that requires you to not run, jump, throw, kick, pass.
I like to go out on the lake. I mean, 10,000 lakes in Minnesota, but I like to jet ski. I'm a big jet ski guy. That's fun. Something to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nickname?
My nickname?
Do you have one?
I don't have a nickname, though. No nickname. kind of hard to have a nickname with Luke. I mean, so it's hard.
Yeah, we'll figure something out there. Do you hidden talent, something you do outside of sports?
Um, I'm really good at pickleball, but
There you
that's a
go.
sport also. I
The
feel like.
sport too.
Yeah, but I am pretty good at pickleball. I mean, I think I could beat mostly everyone in pickleball.
I can see
I
it.
like to play a lot of pickleball, so I'm pretty good at
Well, I
pickleball.
mean, you got quickness, you got length, you got verticality.
Hmm.
I feel like you're pretty good. Yeah, be a tough one there. Um, what about this goal in year one when you get to Madison? What's your year one goal?
I mean, trying to see the field. I mean, it sounds bad, but I mean, I want to take somebody's spot and see what I can do. I mean, especially I think I just being versatile and athletic. I think special teams would be a perfect way to start on the field and definitely hop on any team and sprint down the field and hopefully light somebody up.
What's the biggest hit you've ever given out? Like
Oh,
something that stands out.
there was I broke a kid's rib in the my sophomore year playoffs. He was running towards the sideline and I just kind of lowered my shoulder into him and I could hear him wheezing, so I kind of felt bad a little, but it was still a good hit and it was fun.
That's football, man. Do you play video games?
Not a ton. I
Do
got
you
a lot of school work to do to be able to early enroll, so I've been kind of doing that most of the summer.
No, priorities for sure. I'm just curious with the new A Sports college football game coming out, what should your speed be in that game?
Oof. They haven't been very generous with a lot of the rankings, but if I had to make it 89, 88, 89,
Okay. What about acceleration? How quick you get up to speed?
86,
Hit power.
91.
Yes, I love it. All right, two more quick questions here. Somebody in your life that's a mentor, somebody you look up to.
My head football coach. I mean, he was new the first year I got here, or my freshman year he was brand new, and from then he believed in me enough to start me my freshman year, which is not very that doesn't happen very often in my school. So, I mean, he's been there with me the whole time I've been hurt, and he's just always kind of texting me, always talking to me about, oh, what do you think about this play? And we'll send each other plays we see on Twitter, be like, oh, we should incorporate this somehow. And we're pretty tight. And he's done a lot for me. So I really look up to him a ton.
And final question here, man. And again, thank you so much for your time. It's been fantastic. Like all the interviews with the 25 kids have been fantastic. It's a great class that you mentioned. Message for Badger fans.
Oh, I mean, we're gonna win some football games. Just knowing we got a good team, and they're definitely creating something special. And I mean, Coach Fickle, he knows exactly what he's doing, and his plan is set in stone, and it's really gonna take off within this year and for the next 25 years, and however long he's gonna stay. I mean, we'll be a successful team and franchise.
Love it, man. He is Luke Emmerich, big time part of that 2025 class. Go give him a follow at Luke_Emmerich29. Thank you so much for jumping on the show, man. I really do appreciate it.
For sure. No, thank you for having me. It was great.
On Wisconsin, and we will talk later.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.